Ever since I was little, I've loved the feeling of speed and weightlessness, along with not being in control and being able to relax. Being little, me and my family would take long rides to go places. No one really knew where we were going, but every now and then, we would drive over a hill, and I'd feel my stomach drop. I would beg my parents to go over the hill one more time, but of course we had places to go. I love that feeling ever since I was little, so you can imagine my excitement when I stepped foot into Cedar Point for the first time. We rode rides from the front of the park to the back until nighttime, and then on our way back, we rode everything to the exit. Along my way, I discovered that there were 3 most exhilarating rides that would keep me coming back for years and years to come. My first favorite ride, and the most exhilarating in my opinion, is the Top Thrill Dragster. On our way to the back of the park, I saw it in the middle of the park. My dad, of course, said no, and at the time, I was too little to wait in line by myself. So, we went to the back and just enjoyed our day, and on the way back, I begged my dad, please, just one time, can we go on it? Of course, he was reluctant, and I think he's a scaredy cat, but we waited in line for almost an hour, and we finally got in the cart. When you're waiting for the Top Thrill Dragster, it's almost like a race. You wait for the light to turn from red to green, and you shoot off going 120 miles per hour in 3.8 seconds flat. It's so fun, but not only is the speed my favorite part, but the height also. It goes 420 feet up in the air, and you can see the whole park. It is the tallest ride in the whole park, and one of the tallest rides in North America. On my way down is almost my favorite part. Of course, the launch is great, but coming down, you have all the wind in your face, and you can't feel anything. It's like you're strapped in. I heard my dad screaming the whole time, and it was actually hilarious because I was just sitting there enjoying my life, and he was like, you would have thought someone was being murdered. So that ride gives me the feeling of speed and adrenaline, but also speaking of adrenaline, my next favorite ride is Steel Vengeance. This ride is only 2 years old, so every time I ride it, there's something new that I discover. You start with a 90-degree drop, and you sit there for about 20 seconds. It feels like 20 seconds, but I don't really know how long it is, but it feels like 20 seconds. It feels like forever. And you just look down at this 90-degree drop, and all of a sudden, you just go racing down. My favorite feeling of that ride is being lifted out of your seat. It has the most air time of any roller coaster in the world. There's so many hills and twists and so many curves and everything that I always discover something new, and there's always a different feeling every time I ride it. My third favorite ride that also gives me adrenaline, but also gives me the biggest sense of my stomach dropping, is the Skyhawk. It's this huge swing that goes back and forth in the air, and it gives me the strongest sense of my stomach dropping. It feels like you're flying when you're that high in the air, and there's nothing that you can control, and I love that feeling. My favorite feeling about that ride is that your arms and your legs dangle, and you can just see the whole park. So those are my 3 most exhilarating rides and my favorites that I found while I was at the park. And if you decide to travel there during the summer, you might find me there, so you might want to say hi, maybe not.